Brothers, I ran into my very first crush, and the unthinkable happened. And the only reason I want to share this story with you, brothers, is because I feel like there are two takeaways that every man should take heed to, brothers. You know, I gotta first give you some backstory, right? So my family, my mother's side of my family, man, is from a small town in East Texas called Gilmer, Texas, right? And you have to understand that on the outskirts of Gilmer is a community called Lake Providence. And this is where I spent a lot of my childhood, man. Like you hear me talk about my grandmother all the time. I talk about my grandmother heavy in The Beautiful Faces of Evil. I talk about my grandmother in The Path and other YouTube videos and whatever, right? But before my grandmother became so close to me, but before she became my oracle, back when I was young, man, I'm talking about 5, 6, 7, I couldn't stand going out of my grandmother's house. And it wasn't that I didn't like my grandmother, man. I hated just being in the country, which doesn't make sense, man, because looking back now, that's when I had the most fun. Spending all day running in the woods, spending all day, picking, berries and figs off trees and plums and stuff, just eating them on sight. Just having some good old country fun, fishing, But the thing that I didn't like about going to my grandmother's house back in the days, brother, was going to her church. You know what I'm saying? I was going to church, man, my whole life. Pops was a preacher, right? So I stayed in church. So I felt like when I was going to spend some time at grandma's house, like I should have been immune to having to go to church, right? So I couldn't stand going to this church, man. And the church was called Lake Providence. That was the name of the area, man. But the thing is this, it doesn't make sense why I didn't like going to church, man, because this is where the story starts, brother. I can remember, brother, I had to be about 6 years old, 7 years old, and I can remember going to this church, brothers, and it seemed like the whole church was like 100 years old. It seemed like everybody was 100, right? But I can remember this one sister, man, that I remember the first time I saw her. Again, think, brothers, I'm 6, 7 years old. The first time I saw her, brother, I was just locked in. And I was like, man, this chick is hot. Now, you got to understand, this sister is 10 years older than me. So when I'm 6 years old, 7 years old, she's 16, 17 years old. So it wasn't like I was being noticed, but I was just a little young brother, man, being in lust or just adoring this beautiful woman, man. And I can remember, man, she was tall, she was thin, was light skinned, had this smile, man. She was just sexy to me, or whatever word I would use at that age, man. And I can remember this, brothers. I can remember over the course of, 4, 5, 6 years, every time I went down to my grandmother's house, I went through that same spell of not wanting to go. But every single time I saw this woman at church, brother, I just forgot all about that. Again, there were never, any words being exchanged, because what is a, teenager going to be doing talking to a young brother, right? So I can remember, man, I guess around 11 years old, 12 years old, that was probably the last time I ever saw her. Last time I ever saw her, man. You got to think, over the next 10, 20, 30 plus years, this woman was just a memory that was just gone. I completely forgot about this girl, right? You got to understand, with my family being from Lake Providence, you got to understand that every so many years, every couple of years, man, like I'm always going to funerals in this area, at this church, right? Never saw her, man. Until one time came, man, I went to a funeral, brothers. I'm in a funeral at Lake Providence, and the funeral was over, and I can remember getting up, walking to the back of the church, man, and I'm vibing with some of my kin folks. Maybe my sister was back there, and we just chopping it up, man, talking about good times, how we hadn't seen each other in forever. And I can remember somebody coming over the intercom saying, don't forget that there's food in the back. The family has prepared food and yada, yada, yada. You know how it is at funerals. And I can remember leaving this back, getting ready to leave this back corner of the church, headed toward the kitchen in the back. You got to understand, man, these small churches in East Texas, it's not like we were at the Potter's house. Like there aren't any big aisles. This is a small community church, man. So if somebody's walking down the aisle, they're the only person walking down the aisle. So I'm getting ready to go to the kitchen, and I see some lady coming down the aisle. So I just step back and say, you know what, my bad, and kind of usher her on down, on out the way, right? And I look up, and this lady that's walking toward me, man, is pointing at me like this. She's walking to me and pointing at me like this, and I'm like, oh shit. In my mind, I'm thinking, what did I do? Like, did I piss somebody else? Did I park in front of somebody? And I look at it again, man, and I said, oh shit, it was her. There's a saying, brothers, and it goes, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And I can tell you, brothers, on this day, man, your boy's soul was ready. Your boy clothes was clean from head to toe. I just started losing a few pounds. You know what I'm saying? Hair was slick. Beard was on Edward Scissorhands. Smelling good. Skin was on hydrate. And I remember that, man, because in the conversation me and this lady would have in the moments following, she would keep complimenting the skin. You gotta understand, man, this was before I was online talking about, brothers, give Tiege Hanley a try. It'll change your life. This is when I just started using the product myself. I was probably about 30 or 60 days deep into using this product when this experience took place. But I can tell you this, it wasn't long after that when I got Tiege Hanley on the phone and said, hey, you brothers have a product. We have to work together. So, man, I'm excited today, man, to have Tiege Hanley sponsor today's video. Believe me, man, Tiege Hanley is the truth. You've heard me talk about them before, and you're going to be hearing me talk about them for a long time because I know the positive impact they've had on my life. Seriously, I don't think some of you brothers believe me when I tell you how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve confidence in all areas of your life. Tiege Hanley makes taking care of your skincare uncomplicated. They provide you with all the products that you need and nothing you don't. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20, and a PM moisturizer. Oh, and to make it simple for guys like us, they provide this instruction card in every box that tells you how and when to use each product. It definitely comes in clutch. Skincare wasn't something I always took seriously, brothers, but now I wish I would have sooner. But you don't have to take my word for it, brothers. There are over 5,000 5-star reviews from customers around the globe. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off of retail price, access to exclusive monthly deals, the ability to pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link in the description box and you'll get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Click that link and get started today. So yeah, brothers, she's coming down the aisle and she's pointing at me like, no, I don't need to get by. Like, I'm coming to talk to you. And in my mind, man, you have to understand that all types of things are going on. Like, she's still probably 6 or 7 steps away from me, man. But in that small time, in my mind, I'm thinking, like, first off, I'm thinking, I forgot this baddie even existed, bro. Like, I forgot she even existed. 2, I'm thinking, how does she remember me? Because I don't remember us ever, having any conversation. You got to think, man, I was 6, 7 years old. She was 16, 17 years old. So I'm like, I don't even remember any conversation taking place between us, man. And 3rd, I'm thinking, like, what's her name, bro? Like, I don't even know if I ever knew her name, right? And I'm just sitting there, man. I'm just reliving, back in the days, me seeing her. All this is taking place in a matter of 2 or 3 seconds of her getting to me, man. And by the time she gets to me, bro, like, the unthinkable happens. Like, the unthinkable happens. Like, instantly, bro, it's a vibe. Like from word 1, it's an instant vibe, man. And we sitting there just chopping it up, man. And I can remember the first thing. Like, I didn't know her name. I couldn't remember. So I'm like, yeah. When was the last time I saw you? Like, what was your name? Like the first few seconds, I'm trying to triangulate. I'm still trying to make sense of everything, man. And she told me her name and she had my name kind of wrong. So I'm telling her my name. It's like, oh yeah, once we got back in tune, but it was a straight vibe from that point going forward, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, man. I don't want to get all romantic movie or notebook type. But when women say, oh, time stood still. Bro, I'm gonna tell you this, bro. When I say time stood still, I understand that now, right? Because I don't remember if it was 2 minutes it passed or if it was 20 minutes it passed. That's how locked in we were. By the time I really understood, that hey, you know what, we're still at a funeral. I remember everybody that was still around us when we started talking. All those people were gone. Now there were still people in the front of the church, man. But I was like, bro. Like anybody that's looking back here, observing us can tell it's a vibe because I'm in full predator mode at this point in time. I'm straight giving game. She's straight giving game. It's a vibe, bro. So I said to myself, man, anybody that looks back here, us in this back corner talking by ourselves, they gonna understand it's a vibe going on back there, right? Lo and behold, man, the first person to observe it, man, was my T Jones. For y'all that's not in the South, man, my mama. I could see out of my peripherals, man. My mom was still toward the front of the church, right? She was still in between a pew talking to some people. I remember seeing my mom like just a antenna or like a light bulb went off on her head, man. And I could just see her looking at me, right? I didn't even look at her, right? And she sit there and observed us talking for about 2 or 3 seconds. And all of a sudden, man, I saw my mom, just start making her way down the pews to the aisle. And in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, my tea lady finna do one or two things, right? I said, either she's going to get to this aisle and bust a hard left and go partake in the fried chicken and deviled eggs like everybody else. I said, or two, she's going to bust a hard right and bring a whole bag of salt back here, man, to pour my whole situation, right? Lo and behold, T. Jones takes a right. Boom. So I'm like, all right, I don't know how this is going to play out. So I start toning down the conversation, man. I see moms coming. I'm still acting like I don't see her, right? Mom show up, man. I'm looking almost startled, like I didn't see you coming. She just give me a look like, yeah, okay, right. And she looks at old girl, and she's like, hey, girl. She was like, this my baby, right? And I'm like, like this is gonna mix the whole vibe up. Cause in my mind, I said, you know what, old girl probably finna just step back. So okay, if this is the situation, let me just dismiss myself, right? Oh, girl looked at my mom. She was like, girl, yeah, like I helped you raise this boy. And when she said that, bro, I was like, it's on. I said, shorty done played a part, man. Like she, like the vibe is what it is, man. So my mom was like, oh, okay. Like that's what's up. My mom went back to the kitchen, man, and started doing what she was doing, right? So me and old girl, we just started going back hard conversation, right? And I understood this, man. I said, this block is getting hot, man. So, I don't want to just sit here and talk all day is what I'm thinking. But in my mind, this is what I was thinking, bro. And this is what I end up telling her later. I said, man, there's no way in the world. First off, I said, you know what? I'm in a funeral. Everybody's still in here kind of sad. I said, I'm not going to bring my cell phone out and ask for her number, tell her put her number in my phone so we can connect. I said, man, it just ain't that kind of vibe, bro. But I looked at her. I said, hey, how can I get in touch with you, after this, man, so we can catch up? I said, you on the book? You on the ground? She said, yeah, I'm on the book. Just look me up. You know what I'm saying? Let's finish this conversation. I said, bet. Man, we broke huddle, man, like Pro Bowlers, man. We went our separate ways, man, and act like it wasn't nothing, man. I kept seeing her in church. I'm back in the kitchen. I'm eating. She in the kitchen. I'm scoping her out on the slide. She's scoping me out, man. And we just like, we just ain't nothing going on, man. By the time I get to the car, I'm getting ready to head back to the D. I'm getting ready to take off. Boom, phone goes off. Facebook notification. She done sent me an invite. I'm like, this is what's up, man. Boom, I accept the invite and just head on to the house, right? By the time I get home, brother, we in full conversation. We just boom, boom, boom. Like it ain't never, And the whole time I'm tripping, bro, because in my mind, I'm thinking it's like, dang, it's like me and this chick, like we dated or something before. We just vibe. I believe that night, maybe the next day, man, we FaceTime, we video chatting, and she was like, hey, I'm having this, I'm going through this situation. We got this event going on. I got this party going on. You ought to just pull up. I said, that's what's up, man, So I made this trip, man, and we out in the middle of nowhere, bro. It ain't no cell phone reception. It ain't no nothing out there in the country. And it's at this nice venue, man. Gazebo on the lake type stuff, large. It's a setup, right? And it's nighttime when I get there. And I can remember, man, I'm walking around. The party was in the back. I'm walking around and I'm looking to see if I can find her. And I get to the back where I can look to the left and I see this window. And this window is a kitchen. And I see all these ladies in there and they're cooking and they're putting this food together. And I see her in there, bro. And she killing it, bro. From head to toe, she killing it. All natural. You gotta understand, man. She had this salt and pepper hair, man. The gray popping. She didn't wear any makeup. She didn't wear any lipstick. You know what I'm saying? She had these little country style black shorts on, man. Face was on 10, legs was on 12, brothers. Face was on 10, legs was on 12. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what? I went in, hey, what's up? Good to see you again. She introduced me to her friends and family members, let her do her thing, man. I stepped outside and enjoyed myself. But she came out there, bro, and we started vibing. And like I say, man, it just blew my mind because the vibe was like, man, am I sure me and this sister we didn't see each other at some other point? Just vibe, man. Just vibe, man. After that event, man, we had some fun, spent some time out of town, spent some time, eating meals, just had a good time, bro. And the reason I bring this up, man, it brings me to my second point. It brings me to my second point, man, that I want all men to understand and that I would love for all men to partake in. Like, I understand that most men love younger women. That's just a thing. For me, it's never been my thing. Back when I was a teenager, I was liking women in their 20s and 30s. When I was in my 30s, I was attracted to women in their 40s, 50s, So I always thought that it would turn for me, but it just keeps riding. But I understand that the majority of men like younger girls. I understand that men that are in their 40s and 30s, I just understand that's just the way. But I'm gonna tell you this, man, and I'm really speaking to brothers that are in their 20s, brothers that are in their early 30s. Man, before you settle down, brothers, I want y'all to listen to this. Before you settle down, I want you to at least entertain an older woman. Hell, even go back to your old crushes. Back when you was a youngster, back when you was a teenager, man. Go see if she's still killing it. Or just entertain some of these women that are out and about. I'm going to tell you why it's important for every man to entertain an older woman. It's important because you have to understand what the standard should be. At least as close to it as possible. And what I mean is, a lot of brothers are dating women now, and a lot of these women are in this energy of, well, I'm not supposed to bring nothing to the table. Or this man can't take me out to Cheesecake Factory. Or this man got to bring a Birkin to the, or he got to drive this right here. He got to move a certain way. You have to understand, man, that when you date an older woman, you're getting a small glimpse of what really a woman should be. So when you date an older woman and she's moving in a completely different manner, the way she acts in public is in a different manner. The way she speaks to you, the way she treats you, the way she caters to you, the way she wants to look out for you, the way she want to make sure you've had your meals, she want to make sure you're drinking water. She want to make sure you're good. You don't need any assistance. You really need to experience that. So when you go entertain these women that are your age, or these women that are a lot younger than you, the standard has been set. So when these women are saying, "Hey, this is how I move. This is what I deserve," you say, "No, sister, the bar has been set. Like the cloth is being cut. Either you move in this order, or it doesn't happen." And a lot of you brothers, man, are dealing with this in today's society. It's like, man, y'all don't understand, man. If you just get a glimpse of what women are supposed to be, at least a half a generation before you, but I'm gonna tell you, it'll help you out in a long way. It'll help you out in a long way, man. So So I know a lot of you brothers are saying, okay, well, if you and this sister was vibing, if the face was on 10 and the legs were on a dozen, then what happened? Are y'all still talking to y'all? I'll say this, man. Me and this sister continued to spend lots of time together, quality time, had fun, saw places out of town, had dinners. And I'll say this, man. I'll leave the rest of that to another story. I'll tell another story and finish that part, man. But legend has it, bro, that she's still in East Texas, still hot. Legend has it, man, that she's still sexy as hell, brothers. Legend has it that she's still in Lake Providence and she's still a bad brothers. Don't forget about the amazing deal at Hanley. Click that link and get started today.